Greetings, goddesses and gods. Kamane ini nukumuyata. Yetish tukuyana ini ministiki tukumuyana. Nikindiri mune niste adeki drokuya. Yara hamonu ni nistukumuyate. Ayahamune nikistiki drokumu yana hataikistiki droku yana hatayeta dama. Blessings. What's today? Today is Monday. And I know these videos get uploaded a day or two ahead or something like that. So actually this would be in the future when you see it. But I just want to go over something quickly that I noticed as an observation. Where to begin? Again, this isn't going to be quick, apparently, because I lie. But where to begin? So whenever you go somewhere, whatever you are, wherever you go around a bunch of people, whether it's a store or whether it's at your house, at families or at work, especially at work and families, I've observed that people, you don't hear a lot of talk about, you know, let me put it this way. You only hear what you only hear when you overhear people talking. You hear more of like worrying, doubts, fear, limitations, lack, problems. You know, um, life is rough. There's a black cloud following me, or some other nonsense that's ridiculously nonsense. Um, in my experience, someone who's truly wanting to change their lives, if someone's truly going to change their life, you're not going to think about that shit anymore. This shit is the old you. That's what the old person does. Or as he says in some writing, says called the old man. That's no longer you. So what's needed is a resurrection of spirit in the mind of the new man to be revised, right? You won't hear anyone talking about how they overcame, anxiety, or uh, how they healed anxiety. Again, healing is not curing. Healing, how are they healing their inflammation, or how they're healing their wounds, their scars, their traumas, or how their mind has evolved, how you changed your life for the better, how you are getting on a better path. Talk about prosperity, not just financially, but spiritually and mentally and physically. You don't hear any of this stuff. Nothing. Nowhere. No, you don't hear any of this stuff. It seems to me that people are it's afraid of, well, how do you know about the mind? You can't tell me about the mind. It's not authentic. But I'm the one experiencing it. And we're all the one experiencing the mind. If you're not studying your own mind, how do you know what's going on? Like, you can't grow unless you get rid of it. It seems to me in my experience that the more I talked about worrying and lack and limitations and so forth, what is actually happening is that I am invoking this worry and lack and limitations, and then you name it, problems, and you're angry at someone. This is all made up in the mind. This is what made up in the mind. Because, see, the subconscious mind, from what I've observed and from what I've experienced working with people, is that the subconscious mind doesn't differentiate what is real and what is imagined. Specifically, when you habitually think about something. So when you're in a group of, at work, or you hear people talking about not having enough, or fuck this job, I don't make enough money, or this person this person that, and then they travel around with this. It's constantly on their mind, habitually thinking about it. Because then you leave work and it goes on to, you go to the store and you hear someone talking about, bitching about people at work, bitching about their paycheck. It lingers and it goes home with you, and you take it out on your wife, you take it out on your kids, your husband, your animals, your house. You start drinking, and it's just a sick, self-destructive pattern, and it starts within the families, because we weren't born with any of this shit. You see, it's you're only infecting yourself. You're giving power to worry, lack, limitations, fears, doubts, all created by ignorance. Your ignorance to, well, from what I've experienced, it was my ignorance to not knowing that there was a non physical place, that it just wasn't just physical, it was mental, that we live in a mental world. So everything is mind, and we're projecting our minds everywhere. That you will never hear anyone talk about any of this, no matter where you go, no matter. No one wants to talk about it. They would rather live the life of worrying, lack, limitations, constantly drinking, smoking, and trying to drink and smoke away your problems. When in fact, the next week you see the same person talking about the same thing. Now he's got to go to the doctor because of some sort of rash, or some sort of yeah, some sort of inflammation in the joint, or something. And then the next week they're going back to, they're getting their heart checked out, and so forth, and their stomach, and so forth, and you can just see what's going on. Listen to what they're saying. What is it they always constantly talk about? You hear so many unhappy people they're so unhappy with their jobs, but yet they don't realize they have the power to change it just by thinking differently. You can keep your job and you can think differently about it. You can change your feelings about it. See, the feeling is creating your experiences. So if you're unhappy at work and you take it out at home, you take it out on the kids, you take it out on your husband, your wife, your partner, or whatever, and it just goes on, and it's a cycle. It's a pattern every day. No one talks about how to get rid of this, how to mentally cure or heal this, because this is what we call a demon. This is what a demon is. Demon is nothing more than worry and fear. It's just a word. Demons are worries, your doubts, your fears, and so forth. That's the demon. God said that everything is good. Thinking makes it bad. Thinking will fucking destroy you. But you will not hear anyone talk about spiritually evolving, mentally evolving, how you got rid of guilt in your mind, how you got rid of worrying in your mind. No, they just want to keep talking about it. The more you talk about it, this will all follow it. The same will follow. It magnetizes everything like it around it. It brings about more this of that in your experience. I don't know why they do this. And then you see them on, posting things about, being uplifting or anything, but you hear what they're saying. They're saying something totally different. So they're going against their, uh, you know, it's sort of like blind belief. I guess they're going against what they're saying, not matching up. So they're going. So God is speaking through them, saying, uplift and power of this and whatever. But here, you're walking around telling everybody that you hate your life, you hate your job, you're unhappy here. This person makes you stressed out. This is worry. Oh my God, I can't pay for this. I don't have enough money for that. You're making a mockery of what you were trying to affirm. Um, and this leads to self-destructive patterns. And watch the person, they'll grow, but they'll just grow backwards. They kind of fall. It's like the fall. They fall down, so to speak, but it's not really falling down. They're just falling down backwards through their thinking. They can't evolve their thinking. When you walk, do you walk backwards or do you walk forwards? Or do you stay in the same spot? This is the questions you need to ask. You need to observe what you're doing. Sort of like most people, from what I'm hearing, you go to stores or anywhere, people are talking backwards. They're not. They're not actually evolving their talking. They're not. You know, it's not evolving in a good way. It's not helping anyone. It's frequency. This frequency is low. It's a low vibration. It's a frequency that if you don't want to be a part of, you don't have to be part of that frequency. You can choose to be on your frequency. But that's the thing. When you're on your frequency, now you become crazy because you're not on their frequency. So how can we be worrying and doubting with me? How can we not, you know, talking about your limitations? Um, so basically, not in the sense they sort of stay in the same place, and the thinking becomes stagnant. Becomes stagnant energy. It's stuck energy. Stuck energy in the body caused me mad inflammation. I was joints inflamed like you could not believe. I have 3 herniated discs. That's not the point. Because I don't believe in that. Because it is done unto you as you believe. And if you want to believe in lack and limitation, worry and doubts and pain and suffering, you will only bring about more of what you think about. This is from my experience. This is from my working with other people. And the only way to change it is to think differently. Like again, I keep saying you need to find the good in what you hate, or you won't change. That's the bottom line. You need to find the good in which you hate, in that which you hate, to bring about change. Or you won't change. You won't change. Stagnant energy. It's stagnant energy. You take that stagnant energy, and you find something good in it. Now you've evolved. Now you prospered. So now you're moving forward. Now you're riding a bicycle back forward. When you're riding your car, when you drive a car, you drive it backwards. You constantly look in the mirrors. Most people do, believe it or not. Most people are constantly looking behind them. Not in the sense that they're paranoid, but in the sense that they don't know how to evolve. They can't think outside of what they've already learned, what they were, or what was programmed to learn. So, this is my thoughts on, or my observation on other, you know, witnessing people talking, communicating, trying to communicate with people. because I'm the person that I don't want to talk about worrying. It's something I don't like or something that bothers me. I want to talk about how to get rid of it. I'm like, oh, you know what I did? I had to change my mind. I had to change the way I think about it. I had to change the way to change the way I think about it so I can change the way I feel about it. So I can stop feeling like this. I mean, it's so simple. It's so simple to change, but nobody will do it. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm saying that when I recognize me speaking about worrying, lack, limitations, and so forth, right away in my mind I said, I do not accept this negative programming. Now I need to help it grow, help me grow from that, change it, what is beautiful about it. But that's enough for that. So, see what you think. I'm gonna get out here. I love you guys. Be unique, magical, all the bullshit. I'll see you soon. Te titu, huetala.